Okay, my friends, here it is. The Monday morning live stream at the Thrive Like a Viking headquarters. Sorry I was a little bit late today. I had some things going on, had to take care of it. And then I got in here and we had some technical difficulties with the microphone, of course, like we always do. All right, guys, I saw some good questions from you. So we're going to have a chat about the Master Cleanse. And Jody K, yes, I remember from last week. Thank you. Said, number one, what are your thoughts on infrared sauna blankets? And two, always wondered why cold showers and not just fill up the bathtub with cold water. Those are good questions, and we will absolutely answer those in depth. So let me just get everything set up here. It's a cloudy day here. It is super cloudy, so I got to use a little bit of lighting. I turn my computer into a light, yeah? Just YouTube white screen and then make it full size, and now it's all of a sudden a light, yeah? So, okay, guys, let's see. Sam Potzik, yes, hello, my friend. Jody K, Susanna, Pam from South Africa, Carol Fago, hello, my friend. Pilar, Pa Perm. Is it Pa Perm or PA Perm, as in Pennsylvania permaculture? Is that right? Or is it Pa Perm, as in when you're Thai, when you're from Thailand, and Pa is a label of respect. Is that what it is? So, okay, Miss KC says, very cloudy and rainy here too in Georgia. Yes, definitely. But the sauna and ice bath is in full swing. Guys, it took a while to get back into the back into the sauna. I mean, wow. Because I was doing the steam sauna over the summertime, yes. But wow, this is just nothing like that. The wood-fired sauna tent that I have is just it's like a beautiful gift of nature. I was sitting in it. We were sitting. Me and Camille were sitting in it last night, and just when I pour that steam on the rocks, and just you get enveloped in this blanket of super intense but mellow heat. I just was overrun with this feeling of gratitude that this even exists, that this is just such a beautiful gift of nature, this experience and this feeling and this sensation and this just everything that it is. It is so nice to have that, and the medicine that it does to the internal experience, to the body. You can feel the physiological processes begin to happen. And I am, well, at this point, very, very much in my body. I mean, very in tune with every thought that comes and goes, very aware of every sensation, all of these things. It's just, you don't have to try. There comes a point when you don't have to try anymore. It's just your way of interpreting the reality. You know, you're just aware of everything. And so I can feel every little sensation and everything that is happening. And wow, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. And then we did the first 3 saunas I did. We didn't do the ice bath. And wow, it was taxing after that. I was like, whoa, man. After the ice, after a couple rounds of sauna, just going outside, you know, and cooling off, not with the ice bath, I was taxed after that. I mean, I was like, could hardly do anything the rest of the evening. But with the ice bath now, it totally changes the experience. Now you go from the sauna, intense heat, into the ice bath, oh, and it like balances out energetically. And so I am fully supercharged after the 3 rounds of that. It's amazing. Okay, it's amazing. So, anyways, we're going to get into the meditation, and we're going to talk more in depth about that kind of stuff because it's all about the practices, guys. If you want to thrive, you just got to do the practices and let them work their magic. Yeah. And if you need more practices, let me know. Over the years, I've been searching, or I was searching for so many different, any practice that I thought would give me something, some kind of knowledge or some kind of feeling or experience or something. So I've done a lot of those over the years. And I'm the kind of person that I either do it not at all or completely, 110%. Some would say way overboard, but I don't say that, of course. But that's how we know. So, okay. PA perm. There we go. PA perm. It's pa perm. Your pronunciation has grown on me. Yes, okay. Because that's how you would say it if you were an elder Thai man. If you were elder to me, I would say it to you, pa perm, like that. If my memory serves me from living in Thailand, you would say pa and then whatever their name is. So, but I get it. Okay, cool. I get it. Okay, guys, let us just drop into the meditative state of mind, okay? Because the holidays are coming up. Oh, it's such a lovely time of the year. It's amazing. I really love it. And so we are going to meditate. And as you do that, well, we're going to meditate with the holidays in mind, okay? We'll just say it that way. All together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Again, breathing fully in. Hold. And let it go. Last one, fill the lungs as deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. Let it go. Now allow the body to breathe however it wants to breathe. And with each exhalation, sink deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. Relax the face. Relax the shoulders and the arms and the chest. And the next exhalation, relax the abdomen, the hips. Now relax the knees. How good that feels to fully relax your knees. Now relax the entire body as a unified whole. As you relax, become aware of the sensation of life as it flows through your body. The blood as it pumps through the veins, but also the life force energy as it pumps through the energy meridians, the nadis, yes. You can feel this. To those of you that have been practicing consistently for some time, already you've dropped into a state of intense peace and a state of profound satisfaction. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual satisfaction. Already, you're there. And you're just resting your attention in the now. After you've practiced for some time consistently, you don't need any particular object to rest your attention because you're aware of everything simultaneously. You've become the observer, your true self. If you are not yet there, don't worry. If you find your mind jumping around to different thoughts or to different inner dialogues, arguments with yourself, which are kind of insane if you think about it, but rehashing old memories, mental movies of the future, the mind is jumping all around. The monkey mind. The monkey mind. If you've ever been to countries that have monkeys, you know what that means. Jumping around, won't sit still. Runs after you, grabs your mangoes out of your hand, scares you, then jumps back into the tree. This is the nature of the untrained mind. If you are experiencing the monkey mind, rest your attention on the breathing. The sensation of air as it flows past the nostrils, into the body and out of the body. Back into the body and out of the body. Once you begin to find your center point, the point of no thought, where the mind has become quiet and nothing exists except all that is. Once you begin to experience moments like this, they will gradually increase. You will be able to experience more and more moments of pure satisfaction, of silence, cosmic silence. Naturally, all the sensations such as joy and happiness and contentment and compassion and love, this will all arise naturally. It is the source of your being. We call these different things, but they're not different. They're all one. They're all the divine energy flowing through you. If there are external sounds or distractions, pay special attention to how the mind wants to take that sound and immediately formulate a storyline around it. It hears a dog barking. It says, "Oh, will you please quiet your dog? I'm trying to meditate. I'll never get anywhere in my progress of meditation if you keep letting your dog bark." Or even the sound of my voice. "Why are you talking so much? You're ruining my meditation. Why don't you just tell us a couple things, then be quiet?" Notice how the mind does this. Once you begin to notice these things, you will see with practice that every emotion, every judgment, every conflict, every disturbance all stems from that exact habit pattern of the mind. The mind will take what is, which is always perfectly neutral, and it will grasp on and formulate a storyline and infuse meaning to it where there actually is none. It will say, this storyline is all about me and I'm the main character. The ego thinks everything is about it. Just remain, just observe, smile at the ego mind, smile at the monkey mind. Gently rest your hand on the forehead of the monkey mind, and with compassion tell it to be silent. Together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, fill the lungs. Hold. Let it go. Last one, breathe deeply as you can. Hold. Let it go. As the holidays come up and we are exposed to situations where we're not typically exposed to, family comes to town, old friends, old family that you haven't seen in a long time, maybe that you have had quarrels with, or that there's many family members that if you weren't family, you wouldn't necessarily be hanging out together. We can put it that way, very politely. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily be hanging out together if we weren't family. So, once a year at Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's or a couple times a year, you have to tolerate these people because they are family, and that's just how it goes. So get over it, okay? That's just how it goes. Now, this gives us a very good opportunity for growth and for understanding, because the irritation that you feel with the family member is not inherent in them. It is you that is formulating that storyline. And if you're practicing the meditation for some time, then you will understand directly, meaning you will experience that, how the mind, the ego mind, will take something, formulate a little story around it, and then it's like a snowball. It's off to the races. Once it grabs hold of it, it will start formulating the storyline, and then it creates a feeling inside, and then it becomes an emotion. But it all started with that one act of the ego mind. It can't sit in the silence. It can't sit in neutrality. So it has to grab on to the new. It has to grab onto the thing and then formulate. And so you're sitting there listening to your aunt, that is talking to you, okay, and you're sitting there. Now, there's 2 things going on. One is the perfect pristine nature of what is, perfectly neutral. You are standing there wearing an ugly sweater with a cup of eggnog or something, listening to a woman speak. Okay? You're in a house, you're standing there, your belly is full, or maybe you're going to eat or something, there's noises around you. All of that is perfectly neutral in its essence. Now, here's what the ego mind does, though. The ego mind will take that situation, which is actually free of problems, free of anything. It's just total free. It's complete freedom every moment. But the ego mind will take that situation and it will formulate a story. It will formulate. You'll be sitting there and the ego mind will say, God, this lady is so unconscious. I can't believe that I was once so de-evolved as this. And you're sipping your eggnog. God, this eggnog's disgusting. I don't know why I continue drinking it. I know there's all kinds of chemicals and guar gum in it. The ego mind's creating all this stuff. And as you're talking the same neutral situation, you're sitting there. Oh, God, it's hot in here. Why did I wear this ugly sweater? Oh, your sweater's more ugly, so I guess that's fine. That's the kind of thing that the ego mind is, it's the storyline, okay? But then those little thoughts in themselves aren't necessarily like, oh, big problems, but then the emotion that comes from that, God, I've never liked what Aunt Kathy is saying. I've never liked, she's so deeply unconscious. Why has she trapped me here in the corner? Doesn't she hear that she's just blah, 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 talking to the wind about nothing? And then it gets perturbed, it gets irritated. And it's like, okay, well, I gotta get going. Okay, thanks, Aunt Kathy. You gotta go. And so we get all these feelings and we get all this irritation and we get, oh God, we got to see family and we got to do the holiday thing. And now I'm not talking about everybody, of course, but so without giving more examples, you get the point, right? You get the point. And so what we can do is notice that. Notice the storyline of the mind. Notice how the mind will take something and grab onto it like that and formulate the story, and then the emotion comes after that. But the unobserved mind doesn't even know this process is happening. It thinks that Aunt Kathy sitting there is making me feel these things. No, you are making you feel these things. The situation's perfectly neutral. It is a woman speaking, you're in a house, you're standing, you're wearing clothes, perfectly neutral. Okay? So the moment that you start realizing that, you will laugh at the ego mind, at what it does. It's amazing. Okay? Oh man, Aaron Johnson. I find it hard not to preach to my family about their appalling eating habits. Like you said, chemicals, then watching my sister feed her granddaughter red number 3. Poison, yes. Oh yeah, I know. Definitely. But you also have to understand that people will only change when they're inspired to change. So I know that's a tough one. It's a tough one, but you have to understand as well that even that situation is perfectly neutral. It really is. So the disturbance is on you. The fact that it's appalling. I can't believe that she's doing that. It's almost child abuse, which it is, to feed your kids all this toxic garbage and then medicate them because they can't sit still and they're all kind of frazzled out in the mind and yada, yada, yada. That's one level. Okay. But the paradox of this life is that on the other level, it's actually, you are the one that is disturbed about that. So the situation is actually perfectly neutral. The kid is eating the poisonous dye, food dyes. The kid is hyperactive ADD now because of all the garbage it eats. That's the reality of what is. And then your mind will go on and say, oh, but it shouldn't be that way. I don't want it to be that way, which I understand. I get it. Totally. That's the paradox of this life, is that both things can be happening simultaneously. So the peace is found when we recognize that and say, okay, well, I've made my opinion known, and now I'm going to be quiet about it, because nobody likes the person that is sitting there saying, oh, yeah, you're going to feed them that bowl of purple 5 and yellow number 3, and oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Nobody likes that. And I know from years of being that person and stuff. And so you learn over time when you observe people and you observe your own mind. And you observe your own mind. That's the key. So, okay. Graham says, I've got Christmas to myself now after 2020. They all said I was mad and disowned me. Haven't heard from any of them since. Suits me fine. Why does that sound very Irish? It's, well, there's many things actually that go into play there. And Graham, you already know that this is being programmed into people's mind. The disillusion of family. It's on a massive scale. I mean, everyone I talk to, agrees and understands. It's just not like it used to be. The families are just apart now. It's just political thing, especially in America. Oh my goodness. It's what are you on the right or the left? And family can't coincide anymore. It's not like it was in the 90s or whatever, when you could have totally different political opinions and stuff. Now it's life or death. And so if you're on the left or on the right, we can't be family anymore. That's happening. This has happened. I have a big extended family, and it's happening here. Yeah. In this family, extended family. I would never let that happen in my direct family. There's no way. But anyways, it's being done to us, of course. But you know that, Graham. So, okay, let me get to these questions here. Brian says, Nate, why did you change the name of the channel? I changed it back to what it was, Nate Murray, because although Thrive is definitely what the brand, this part of the brand will be about, I need one channel to just be my name, and it's this channel, because there's so many different things here. There's so many different things going on. So this will be when the books start coming out and things, it will be the, meditate like a Viking, work out like a Viking, all this kind of things will be under this. And I need my name to be associated with that. So Nate Murray, that's the name, but we'll still call this the Thrive channel, because that's exactly what we do here. Now, I want to answer these questions. So Jody K last week said, what are your thoughts on infrared sauna blankets? Now, an infrared sauna blanket, I can't say that I have a lot of experience with that. Now, I actually have no experience at all with that. So I do have experience with infrared saunas, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan personally, because the heat feels electronic, if that makes sense. It feels different. It just feels very different. The heat from a wood-fired sauna, like especially where the stove is in, you're feeding it in the tent or in the chamber, is just so unique. Part of it is the element of fire. So the fire is just so amazing, and the radiant heat from that is amazing. And the smell and the elemental consumption, the transmutation, yeah, that is happening there is, it's all part of it. But if you don't have space for that, then the next best thing would be one of the steam saunas. Okay. And I have a lot of experience with several different of those. Those are great. Okay. If you don't have room for a wood-fired sauna outside, a steam sauna is what you want. Now, there's some links in the description of my other videos. Not this one yet, but of the ones that I like. Okay. So you can look up NordicWays.com. I know it's ironic, but Nordic Ways, that's my favorite one of all. It's one of those 3 by 3 by 6 foot grow tents, those like blackout grow tents, and it's got a nice powerful boiler. You just pour water in there, turn it on, wait 15 minutes, and unzip it, and steams, and you get inside. Wow, it's awesome. I mean, it's really awesome. Different than a sauna, a proper sauna. It's a steam room experience. So I'll put some drops of eucalyptus oil like on a rag and then hang it up there. It's a really nice experience. So I highly recommend that. But if you have even less space, then they make the small ones that you can sit in and have the hood over you. Those are also really nice and intense. No matter what, you need to get a sauna or steam room happening in your life. Now, the infrared blanket, I mean, I saw JP Sears promoting one, but that doesn't mean anything, anymore. So if you were like mega confined on space, it's better than nothing. So but I would not be, that would be the last option, because you want to be rolling sweat in an actual environment, without the electronic. I just don't like it. So that's my thoughts on that. I don't have any scientific reasoning why or why not. You could investigate Dr. Susanna Soberg. She might know more about that. Maybe her Instagram account would have things, or her, I'm sure Huberman Lab podcast. I'm sure it has. If you type Huberman Lab, I'm sure all you guys are familiar with that podcast. Huberman Lab infrared sauna. I'm sure it will give you much more knowledge on that. In fact, I'm going to listen to that so that I have more knowledge on that. So there's number one. Now, number two says, I've always wondered why cold showers and not just fill up the bathtub with cold water. If that's perfectly fine. Cold showers are for convenience, purely for convenience, not because the cold shower is any better than anything else. You actually will ideally have a tub sitting outside, like an ice bath, ideally. But yes, you can totally fill up the tub with cold water. But the cold shower thing is that it's just fast and it's easy. And people with their lifestyle, if it's simple and convenient, they're much more likely to stick to it. So cold showers, and it will still give you a creative soil. I saw you were in the chat, I think. And some maybe Jerry Bates, if he's here, or some of you guys that I know are cold training. Many people will say that cold showers are more difficult in a way than ice baths. And it's because they're more irritating. They're more like, oh man, you got to get under this, and it's just like a little piss trickle, and it's just like, oh, and you got to constantly turn around, and then you got to go back under it, and you have to reintroduce your body to the cold water constantly. And so that is irritating, kind of shocking. Whereas if you do a full immersion, then it's all at once. Whoa, all the alarms and everything are going off. Yeah. Plus you get a good hydrostatic pressure to the system that also helps with physiological effects. Yeah. So cold showers are for convenience, but the best way is full immersion up to the neck by far. I hope that answers that. Susanna says, I'm used to cold showers. Ice baths are difficult for me because I don't do them often. Yeah, that can be. That could be. Yeah, you're used to cold showers. I mean, so that works. Ice baths, I mean, make no mistake, they're more intense. They're way more intense than a cold shower. But to those that do both regularly, the cold shower is more irritating, because it's like slowly pulling off a Band-Aid when you're like, just get on with it. Just rip it off and be done with it, So a little cold shower is like, But the ice bath is definitely the way to go. But you know what we really realized, me and Camille, because over the summer we were doing chest freezer ice baths. We converted the chest freezer in the basement to an ice bath. And we were doing that during the summertime with no sauna. Now, that's a different level of things. It's a different experience. And I really realized that once we got back to the contrast, the proper contrast. So we had the wood-fired sauna going, and then we go into the ice bath and then back. And the contrast is something else entirely. The contrast between the two is really makes it an entirely different experience physiologically. And when you become really in tune with all that stuff, you can just see it and feel it instantly. So it's a wonderful experience. Let's see. Yes, Teach Tree says, I like the grow tent steam room. I think it will work outside. It depends how cold it gets. If you throw a couple like moving blankets over it and then like a tarp to insulate it a little bit, it would. But if it gets below like 55, it might struggle a little bit. If it gets below 50, it might struggle, because my house is like 56 at night Fahrenheit and like 62 during the day, so in the wintertime. And so it will struggle a little bit below 50, but if you insulate it, it'll be perfectly fine. But the grow tent steam room is nice. I mean, real nice. Full immersion. You get to put them oils in there, and it will change your experience of winter. Guys, if you're not already on the train, those steam rooms we're talking like $300. Okay? Or if you want the smaller one, if you need a recommendation, let me know. And the smaller one can be like $170 dollars. So that it's accessible to almost everyone, pretty much, and it's well worth it. If you do that, your experience of winter will change. You will not mind the cold as much. It changes things. Yeah. Jody K says, my goal is to get an outdoor tub, but don't have the money for it yet. Rural King, I don't know where you're at exactly, but Rural King is great for that. You can get them on sale sometimes, $120. Yeah, $120. You can get them on sale sometimes, so it's really good. Also though, Jody, you can if you have an old, you have to clean it out really well. But if you have an old, like those recyclable things, you wheel out to the corner, to do recyclables or trash in. Trash might be kind of gnarly, but I've seen people using those, definitely, and they make lots of good room. So you could commandeer one some way from some place, I don't know, and then mount, secure it, fill it, and then put steps up to it. Just put like a couple steps up to it so you can get into it. Make sure it's secure so it doesn't tip. You can get creative, but that could be free. I mean, for example. So anything that you got to use. Yeah. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you, Susanna. Like the name change. More straightforward. Yeah, that's what we're doing. What's up, Taylor? Have a good time at work. Let's see here. So Susanna says, what is your take on red light therapy? I actually don't have any experience with red light therapy because I just don't see the benefit. I am not of the belief, based upon my life experience, that electronic lights and electronic infrared heating types of systems are the way to go. I just don't feel like it is. If you want proper red light therapy, you go to the ultimate red light, which is the sun, truly. And of course, I'm sure by now none of you guys are wearing sunglasses, okay? Except for if you're driving and there's lots of reflection, but you need to get off of wearing the sunglasses big time. I stopped doing that several years ago, and it's magnificent. All right. You need that sunlight, those UVA, UVB. You need that red light, the blue light. You need the whole spectrum coming into these receivers. It's how it enters the body, one way that it enters the body. And we need that. Yeah, yes, you will feel the difference. So when we wear sunglasses, especially if you wear cheap sunglasses, guys, listen to this. If you wear cheap sunglasses, then what it's doing is the cheap ones don't block 100% of the UV lights. Okay. So it will shade out the eyes and make the eye think that it's darker than it normally is. So it will dilate the pupil more to receive more light. But if they're cheap sunglasses and they don't block all the rays, it's letting in all those rays to a damaging degree. And so it's like cooking the eyes. It's really bad for the eyes in the long term. And you can't drive at night anymore because the lights and everything. It all has to do with it. So really, the only time you should be wearing sunglasses is when you are driving and it's really bright out, really glaring, because you have to focus on the road, or if you are at sea, of course, or if you're in the snow, those kind of times. So, So I am the frugalist. Is that 8A Gardening and Clay? Is that you? That's a cool name. So you don't recommend the electro element type. Now, if you're talking about sauna, if you have to do an electric sauna, definitely, because not everybody has geographically speaking, not everybody has the means to do a wood-fired sauna, and I get that. And not everybody is proficient enough with wood, splitting wood, stacking wood, lighting fires. Those of us that are love it, and it's part of it. And the smell, especially if you get good quality hickory wood, the smell is so divine. And the whole process of splitting the wood, stacking the wood, sourcing the best possible wood, all that, is part of the process. And you experience that when you're in its warmth. You're like, oh man, thank you so much. Just thank you. Thank you. But the electric one, if you have to, if you're like on the fence and you could do either, definitely go wood fired. But if you need, for whatever reason, have to do it electronic, that's perfectly fine. Definitely electric heating element, in my opinion and experience, far superior to infrared sauna. Okay? They're not the same thing. So get the electric heating element that you can pour water on the rocks. That's important. You have to be able to pour water on the rocks. Dry saunas are actually not real saunas. If you talk to the people in Finland or the Native American sweat lodge type, none of them use dry sauna. It's always water is part of it. Okay. And the Finnish people who, there are, archaeological sites of saunas dating back 10,000 years in Finland. Okay. And they have a word specifically for the feeling, the steam that is produced after you put the water on the rocks, called löle. It's a Scandinavian word, löle. And it means basically the spirit of the sauna. Yeah. And so when you pour that steam on there, you get good löle, and wow, man, it gets in the soul. We don't have an equivalent. It's not steam. The word is not steam. So we don't have an equivalent word, but that's all part of it. So you have to put water on the rocks, okay, in your sauna. That's right, Sam. Sam Potzik says, I feel it as well, Aaron. I used to run my mouth about the food, calling it poison and not eat, and just make everyone uncomfortable and mad at me. So I just bite my tongue now. Right. You bite your tongue, but also observe within. Also understand the ultimate reality that it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter if they awaken or not. It doesn't matter. Because all that is will still be all that is, regardless of anything. So ultimately, see, we're talking in paradoxes again, but we can enter the world and we can talk about, you shouldn't be eating that, and it's all. But then we can also view it from the standpoint of the ultimate observer and say, well, none of it actually even matters. So it really doesn't matter. So you can find immediate peace with that. Yeah. But that's right. Yeah. When I was like waking up to it all and stuff, I was like trying to tell everybody, Do you understand what's in there? And I would open up my brother's cabinet and see all this garbage in there from Costco, big bags of food and stuff. And then he'll complain about, yeah, I just feel tired all the time. I don't know why. I mean, he's not overweight or anything, and he's got good genetics. And so he's like, I'm just tired all the time. So, and for several years, I was like, well, and I would open up his pantry. Okay. So there's all of these chemicals, all this garbage, snacks and all this crap, eating biscuits and gravy and all that kind of going out to fast food and stuff. But most people, especially Americans, have no concept that that is what is doing any harm to them at all. It's just food. And it must be something else. So you need to get some kind of medication or something to get more energy. So that was fine for like a little while, but then it gets real irritating to people because you're not going to make them change. You complaining about their diet is not going to make them change. And from their standpoint, they're going to think, oh, you're holier than everyone now? Okay, well, for your whole entire life, for the past 30 years, you were just fine eating Fruit Loops and Fruity Pebbles and Hot Pockets and all that garbage. But now all of a sudden you're awakened and you're better than everyone. That's what they'll think. That's what their ego mind will say, which is actually the same ego mind. There's only one. And so that's what the ego mind will say. Is that, oh, so you're just better than everyone now. So it's best to just be quiet and lead by example. Yeah. Or maybe start a little podcast on YouTube so that a small tribe of people that really want to hear it, you can talk about it. That's the amazing thing. That's what I like about every one of you here is that you want to be here and want to hear it. Because I don't go out to in day-to-day life and say any of this because nobody wants to hear it. They really don't. And they won't understand it anyways. So you just live your life. VA Green says, it's hard to watch all the garbage people eat both physically and mentally. Yes, but you can't change anybody but yourself. That's right. Exactly. Oh, mental garbage. Oh, absolutely. They'll be stuffing their face with Hot Pockets and Twinkie, all kinds of garbage while the television's blaring. And they've got a 7-foot wide television that takes up their whole, and the couch is all focused towards the television. And it's just blah, 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 blah. When I'm at people's houses that have that kind of thing and they just got the TV on and all the commercials and everything, I can't. And they're just trying to talk to me, blah, 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 talk to me normal. I can't focus. I feel like I'm being assaulted. I'm like, can we shut this thing off? What's it doing? Can you just shut it off? Make it stop, please? It's so like in your face. So, but that's because I've been away from it for so long, and again, you can't say anything like that. You can't talk about people's TV. Because, oh, you're still better than them now. So instead, you just breathe deeply and become the observer. You just see, you come into the world and you're in the world and things, but anytime you need to, you can just become the observer again, which because you always are. You're never not the ultimate observer. So you can just, and you can just observe the situation. The TV's blasting. This person's trying to talk to you. They're deeply unconscious. They're full of advertisement. Their mind is full of advertisements and drug company advertisements and junk food and all that. But that's the reality of what is. And so the ego mind wants to say, God, tell these people to shut this idiot box off. Don't they know it's called programming for a reason? Television, tell a vision. It implants a vision into your mind. Don't they know this? They don't want to hear that. Don't even bother. Just observe and show them compassion. Yeah. So, Silver Sage says, being a massage therapist, it really broke my heart to learn about the essential oil industry and how they are causing diseases. Check out the book Essentially Deadly by April. Oh, you're talking about She Is of the Woods, that Instagram account? Yeah, I know. When she was talking about essential oils, I've heard her say some things about essential oils. And I wonder if she's talking about actual pure essential oils, like the top quality ones, the doTERRA or the Young Living, or because the cheaper ones you get at like the co-ops and stuff, definitely all kinds of fillers and all kinds of toxins and endocrine disruptors in them for sure. You get because the real stuff for a bottle of, let me just show you 1 second. Okay, because the real stuff, all right, for something like a rose oil. Okay, do you see? This is not rose. This is a different one. For a real rose oil, pure essential oil. This bottle is $275. Seriously, I've never, which of course I've never done and would not because I don't need it that bad, but the $275, okay? And a bottle half this size of jasmine is $150. So a bottle this size of jasmine is $300, okay? Now, when you go to the co-op and you see a big old bottle of rose oil for 20 bucks or $18 and you think that that's essential oil, it's not. It's got all kinds of garbage in it and endocrine disruptors and things like that. Because they're trying to make a product, you know? But like this size bottle of frankincense is $90. Okay, $90. And this is not frankincense, but when you go to the co-op or wherever and you find the garbage ones, then and they're a huge old bottle of frankincense for 12 bucks or 25 or $30. No, that's garbage. So she has to be talking about those ones, okay? Because when I first saw her posting about that, I was like, okay, well, then I investigated deeper. And of course, April has a business where she's selling her products that are better than the essential oils. Okay. So I haven't read the book yet, though. So I can't say for sure her argument, but I do know that she has a business that is selling the opposite of essential oils. Okay. So I wonder many things about that. Yeah. So, because I use essential oils for everything, I have zero fragrance, zero natural fragrances, natural flavors, not natural anything like that. I cook with them. I use it as a fragrance, you know, the cedar wood and patchouli, and I put the peppermint essential oil on my chocolate, orange essential oil with some orange rind powder on the chocolate, the homemade chocolate, all that stuff. Yeah. So, oh yeah, definitely. Silver Sage. So you started making your own infused oils this year. Yeah, I've had some experience with that in Greece. We had some experience doing that. But the old man, Honey George, Yorgo Mele, he had a device that was essentially like an espresso maker, a big, huge espresso maker. Not a machine, but like a still. We heated it with a burner, like a Bunsen burner, and it essentially forced steam through whatever herbs we put in it, and then had the copper coil that then concentrated it again. And so we did things like lavender, Greek, in the mountains there in Greece, oregano and thyme and rosemary grow wild, and it's so great. So we made ones with that, and they're really nice, actually. Let's see here. I actually have one of these still from Honey George. This was like 8 years ago, and it's still. This is lavanda. I forget how they said it, but and it. Oh yeah, it smells wonderful. Oh my gosh, it smells so much different than the lavender, the other lavenders. Wow. And it took a boatload of collecting to make that tiny little thing. I mean, a huge like bushel of the lavender we had to collect to make this. Oh, but it still smells amazing 8 years later, guys. So I buy the doTERRA ones. They got like a little pyramid it's not a pyramid scheme, but you have to be like a member, part of their club and all that, jump through that hoop, but whatever. Because I like the product. I really do. And I use it for everything. Ooh, Susanna, how did you make them? Are you talking about just infusing the oils, just letting it sit in there, yeah? Yes, that would make a good, whoops. Is that right? Andre Puskas says, we say in Serbia, lavender exactly like you said now, lavanda, 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 lavanda. Yes. Well, it's like when I learned to say things in Greece or traveling and stuff, and then I come back here and I say them, people are like, why are you pronouncing it that way? You moron. I'm like, okay, well, I learned to say it like that. Like this one here, people call it arborvitae, I think, where I learned it's arborvitae. Arborvitae. And so, but then I come here and they're like, what'd you say? Ha ha ha. I'm like, gosh, guys, don't revel in your ignorance, please. Yes, Ms. T, good to see you here, my friend. Yes, this stuff, absolutely pure. Now, I assume and I hope that the doTERRA is just as pure. Now, doTERRA and Young Living are the two top ones. So I really don't think that April would be talking about that, in her book. I just don't see how. But who knows? Okay, who knows? She could. But it's essential oils are really good to use for certain things. Well, for setting an ambiance, for setting a program and a pattern to do things. Yeah. So to signal like when to go to sleep, lavender. Yeah. In your room, only at nighttime, when to go to sleep. Yeah. Or like this one, I have a certain citrus blend that I only do when I'm doing these live streams. And so I pump that on and immediately my body's like, okay, it's go time. Yeah. So yes, you're right. T Streets, big tribe. I forgot to answer Miss KC's question. I hope you're still here. I don't know if you are, Ms. KC, but I'm sorry about that. So you asked about the master cleanse, how to come off the master cleanse properly. Okay. So guys, here's the thing. I've done the master cleanse since I was 17. So that's a long time now. That's 20 years. Okay. 22 years now. And I've experimented many different ways. 5 years ago, I made the video, which got hundreds, thousands of views and is really like the master cleanse video pretty much on the internet. And so I was there for several years before I started the gardening channel. I was working with people doing the master cleanse. So hundreds and hundreds of people with the master cleanse, and then also in my own life. And so over the years, I've come to find, though, that so the official way to come off the master cleanse is to make a soup, a big soup that is with all the different vegetables, yeah, and boil it till it's nice and soft, and then you consume that to come off the master cleanse. And the final day of the master cleanse, actually day 11, so is just pure orange juice. But I found everybody had the biggest problem during the orange juice day and the transition back. Okay. So over the years, I've come to the experience that the best way to come off the master cleanse is with homemade bone broth. Homemade bone broth heals the digestive system and restarts the digestive fire. It is so amazing. Your body will just, whoa. And if you make it right, then it's got all the good stuff in it. So day 11 basically would be homemade bone broth. And then in the evening, you could have a light stew with bone broth, of course. And then the next day would be the same thing. Okay. Now, if you're vegetarian or vegan, then mango, instead of orange juice to come off, mango and banana, mango and papaya are the two ways to come off. Yeah. So, but I found out over the years as well, Stanley Burroughs, the creator of the Master Cleanse, was very much so opposed to any type of animal cruelty. Of course, I mean, but like to an extreme degree, you know. And so he was absolute vegan in every way because of his opposition to any kind of factory farming and things like that. You know, that it was a heavy influence in the program. And so if your philosophies are different and you source your stuff properly, if you get your meat from like a very ethical, conscious farmer such as Jerry Bates, part of the tribe, then Bates Family Farm at Yahoo, go ahead, give him an email if you want some beef. If you get it from a place like that, I have zero worries whatsoever about cruelty of any kind. These cows are amazingly happy, and it transfers into the product. Yeah. So I could go on and on about that, but there's the rundown on that. Okay. So, so I hope that answered the question. You know, I could talk on and on about that. If you had specific questions about how to come off, then we could discuss that. Yeah. VA Green. Well, I have I have experience with that. When I was kind of getting out of it in Northern California, that kind of thing, the rosin press and stuff was just coming in. And I don't have any experience with that for anything else other than that, what I'm sure you're talking about. So I wouldn't think heating it. Well, I don't know really, because the steam extraction would heat it big time. So I don't know exactly. Yes, I have several of the atomizer diffusers, Sam. What's up, Keat? What is it? Kite? Ket Cutmore? Hi, guys. Love from the UK. All right, my friend. Okay, guys. So we are at the 1 hour time limit. Or the self-imposed time limit. It's been a great discussion. Yeah, we're always having good talk here with you guys. Great way to start the week. So remember, if you're doing any shopping on Amazon, make sure you bookmark the Viking storefront and do all your shopping on Amazon through the Viking storefront. Yes. Next week, I'll be releasing on the gardening channel my first like sponsored video where they sent me that e-bike, and the thing is amazing. It was so much fun. I mean, literally, we took it out downtown and everything. It's pretty awesome. So I have no problem promoting that. So look out for that video, and we will see you guys next time. And let us know some video topic ideas, okay? Thank you. Okay, good. I'm glad that you saw that, Jody. So if you have a more specific question, I can give it to you. But when I make a video course, hopefully this winter, I'm going to make a Master Cleanse video course that has that people will purchase, of course, but it'll be a whole very in-depth, laid out series of videos of the entire process of brief, relatively brief videos of how to lead up to the Master Cleanse and how to come off of it in the traditional way, also in the new way that I'm promoting now, because there's so much better success doing it with the bone broth method. So much better success. Okay. So, all right, guys. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say.